All right, everybody. I'm going to go fly up to Oklahoma to see Olivia for their college's flight team, the Flying Aggies, fly in. This is the third attempt. The first two were canceled because of weather. But today, it's gorgeous. So, we're going to get in this thing and blast off out of here and go see Olivia. Hang out with her for a little bit. 48 years young, and she's still looking beautiful. All right, so here I am, finally flying after a long hiatus. I usually don't fly in the summer, but to be honest, I've not flown during the spring or even the late winter. The last couple of flights I've done have been with the pilot nieces to help them out one way or the other. So I've just been concentrating on other things in my life right now and not really paying too much attention to flying. So I'm starting to Jones for it, and I was planning to do this fly-in. The last two tries, like I mentioned, they were canceled, but this one, the weather was great and there was no way I was going to miss it. So last week I jumped in the plane, did a 0.7 flight for currency, and made sure everything was good to go with the Cheetah. And it is. The Cheetah is running fantastic. I don't really have any gripes with it, and I was more than happy to fly by myself up to Oklahoma to see Olivia for the Oklahoma State University Flying Aggies fly-in. So that was pretty exciting, and we were able to spend some time together, go have some lunch, and just pal around and see what she's been up to and hear about her training. We went around the campus on a long walk to see where all of our classes were, and it was pretty cool. So I was originally not going to film anything on this flight because I was supposed to have company, but that fell through, so I decided I would just use my phone and try to put something together. So turns out I haven't flown in so long that my audio cable that I use to record my cockpit audio doesn't jive with my phone anymore, since I don't have an old style headphone jack in it. So I guess I need to go find an adapter. And I guess while I'm at it, I ought to look at some different camera options because I'm kind of tired of the GoPros. The YouTubers that I watch all insist that I buy these newfangled fancy cameras like Insta360s and the whatnot. So I'll look into that, and hopefully I can start taking the Cheetah on some trips now that I have a good amount of vacation time to go do such a thing. I have a co-owner that's flown the thing all over the United States, and I've never been more than 3 hours away from DFW in it. So well, here I am coming into Stillwater. I decided to swing out to the east before I get in the downwind 417 to film the campus. One of these days I'm going to fly up and go to a football game with Olivia, even though she prefers I don't until the team doesn't suck. But I'm not going to wait for something like that. The flying was real easy to get into. There wasn't a whole lot of traffic at all when I arrived, so I got right in there, no problem, and parked. All tied down, ready to go. So after getting to the fly-in area, I set off looking for Olivia to let her know that I was here. She already knew that, of course, because she was tracking my flight on the phone. So we found each other pretty quick since there wasn't a lot of aircraft there. She introduced me to some of her friends, and we took a photo op. Then we went our separate ways for a little while because she had another hour and a half to work the event. After that, we went to get some lunch, but in the meantime, it was really fun watching her walk around talking about airplanes because she does love to do that. She's currently working on her instrument rating at Oklahoma State University, as well as being on the competition flight team for the third semester. So she's been prepping and doing a lot of work for their first competition that's coming up. And it was fun to hear all of her enthusiasm about instrument training, the fly-in, and definitely being up at college and having a blast. Yeah, for everything working on it, no river, get a half a day off with me. For two, for picking up logs all along high. Of course, after we had lunch, we had to go for a nice, long, fast walk around the campus in the heat so that we can work all of that food off. I was definitely ready to sit down and relax on a 2 hour plus flight home. All right, it's 4 o'clock. I'm sitting up here at Stillwater Regional Airport in Oklahoma. Olivia's flying is over. It was a good success. We actually had time to go have a nice lunch and walk around the campus for an hour and really got that blood flowing. So I'm going to start my flight home in some pretty bad headwinds at altitude. So thankfully the trip up was only an hour and a half, and I've got, let me do some math here, 5 hours worth of gas left. So should make it just fine. Here we go. Well, all right, here I am blasting off, flying by the campus from the other side after a good, successful, fun visit with my old scuba buddy. I haven't scuba dived since she left for college because I'm not interested in making new friends. Anyway, the long flight home gave me a lot of time to reflect on aviation and what it means to me and what the future of it looks like for me. And, you know, I will say right now, as much as I love flying, and I've always been into aviation and airplanes since I was a little bitty kid, I really hate the whole industry right now, the experimental aircraft, the general aviation aircraft industry. And if I didn't have this partnership with the three guys that own this airplane with me, I would be done. I actually went to Oshkosh 2 years ago for the first time in like 25 years. Whenever I walked through those gates, I almost immediately had the feeling of, you big dummy, you should be coming here every year. And that feeling only lasted for a few weeks because I had just received my notice from Vans Aircraft to stop building my airplane because they had sent me and a whole lot of other people bad parts. Since then, aviation has done nothing but piss me off. Between Vans Aircraft's prices skyrocketing, Lycoming being absolutely despicable with their pricing, the propeller companies going up, and I don't even know who owns SkyTech starters, but if you haven't seen what they've done to the prices of their starters in the last year and a half, don't look. You're going to cry. Anyway, pretty much if you're a blue-collar guy in aviation, yeah, good luck to you, man. It's just not looking good, so I'm just going to have to stick with the Cheetah and, be happy for the nieces that they'll be airline pilots and have airplane owning money. And if they choose to be those kind of doofus pilots that don't own their own airplane, even though they can afford several of them, then hopefully I'll still be around with the Cheetah to keep them in general aviation. So I do have a lot of confidence that I will get to keep spending a lot of my life with them because we're still very close, and the older one and I are going to Alaska next year to get our float plane ratings. And on top of that, she wants to learn how to sail with me. So I'm doing something right, even though it doesn't really involve airplanes. So take that for what you will. All right, I'm back from Oklahoma. The Cheetah's all fueled up, cleaned up, because we don't leave her in the hangar dirty. So it was a great trip. The Cheetah got up there in an hour and a half and took about 2 hours and 15 minutes to get back. I think I had something like 28 knot headwinds, and that was my best option for what the Cheetah can get to as far as altitudes. So I flew back at 6,500 feet and flew up there at 5,500 and got some good flight time. The plane ran great. She's doing amazing for a 48-year-old girl, and I couldn't be happier with her. So sun's setting. It's time to put this door down and go get my dog and some dinner and try to make a YouTube video and maybe insult some Democrats. We'll see.